Welcome back. Sorry. Welcome back in our episode of NBA 2K14. In the last episode, as the Lakers managed to defeat the Grizzlies 103-98, and then Denver Nuggets walk-off game-winning shot at the buzzer defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves in a close one, 116 to 113, and now we're off to Madison Square Garden in New York City. It's gonna be good. It features the rematch of the last season's Eastern Conference semifinals, where the Pacers won the series in 6 games over the Knicks. It's gonna be a good matchup here in Madison Square Garden in New York City, and it's gonna be a good matchup. Features the two of the best East teams. So for this game, the Pacers gonna use the dark blue shirts, and the Knicks gonna use the white shirts. So that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. We'll be right back after this. Enjoy the video here at the Madison Square Garden in New York City, and now we are sending over to Kevin Harlan here in MSG in New York. Anyways, let's get started. Enjoy the video. Now we're heading to start. We're sending over to Kevin Harlan here at Madison Square Garden in New York. Enjoy the video, and let's get started.
Damon Bruce here. Welcome to the NBA here on 2K Sports. It's Wednesday night basketball. It's going to be the Indiana Pacers up against the New York Knicks. And we're ready for tip in New York City. Kevin Harlan and the crew with the call. I'm not afraid.
Yeah. It's Eastern Conference time for the traveling Indiana Pacers today. Bringing you another edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg with the fourth member of our team, Doris Burke. A quick check now at the starting five for both teams. And one of the players we'll be seeing in this one, Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, you know, even from his college days at Syracuse, Carmelo has always had the ability to step up in crunch time and more often than not deliver. When the fourth quarter rolls around, he seems to take his game to another level.
Well, with the way that Melo is able to create his own shot, Steve, off the dribble or in the post, that makes him very valuable and dangerous, particularly in the fourth quarter. I mean, he's a guy that makes it really hard to defend him because he's so versatile.
Just a single game at home. After this one, it's back on the road for the Knicks. Well, compared to last season, you'd have to say the start to this season has not been quite what you'd expect. They hope to improve their record with the win tonight, certainly.
When I look at New York, they've gotten off to a kind of start that you wouldn't have been able to imagine. It's been a lot bumpier than anticipated.
Yeah, they've got some talent, and I think most people thought this team would be pretty good. And yet everything's gone wrong for them to this point in the season. They better be careful. I mean, this season could really fall apart for them.
Now, here's George. Here's West. Shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for two. West has got the game going with his first points of the game for the Pacers. Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a loss to the Bulls in Chicago.
You know, you can point to their shooting percentage in the low 30s, guys, if you're looking for the reason that game didn't go their way.
Yeah, I think it's almost impossible to win a game when you're posting a number like that, Steve. I mean, it's just not going to happen. Well, for so long, the Knicks have been the punchline of the Eastern Conference the last decade. Poorly managed contracts and questionable trades really kept them from rising to the top in the East. But once again now, they look like a powerhouse.
Well, Doris, an interesting game. Moments ago, you had a chance to talk with head coach Frank Vogel. What do you have to say?
Coach told me their hope is to overcome the problems a player like Carmelo Anthony presents to defenses. He said Melo's combination of strength, size, and skill set make it very difficult to keep him from scoring as he's tripped down the floor. What he is hoping for is to throw different looks at Melo to keep him out of his rhythm and to try to work from there.
Thanks, Doris. And Clark, you were right. The Knicks were a powerhouse last season. Steve, 37 wins against the rest of the conference, and they just would dominate other teams' attacks.
Well, they're a team that doesn't really want to run a lot or force tempo. They just kind of want to get you in the half court. They don't turn the ball over, and they bury you from long range. So yeah, they found their identity last year, and it really dominated in that Eastern Conference. Oh, man, he goes old school on us with the finger roll.
With the New York Knicks, they come in off the loss to the Pistons in Detroit.
And I think the sort of issues they had on defense, in part at least, was a bigger factor. It really compounded, I think, because He was on the road. You have to be sharper when you go out and play as a business.
Yeah, everything has to be tight. You can't be loose in any aspect of your game. You're fighting against the crowd and the opponent. You've got to be tougher, mentally and physically, if you're going to win on the road.
Here's Smith.
Already his second foul. He's in danger of getting very serious foul trouble early in this game. Red hot right out of the gates. 4 for 4 shooting.
The Knicks making a switch here. Shumpert's checked in.
Well, if the Pacers wanted to grab the attention of the league with their postseason play, they certainly did that. They marched through the first 2 rounds by knocking off the Hawks and the Knicks. And, boy, remember, they were a game away from the NBA Finals.
Kicks it out to Granger. The shot's good on the assist by West. Granger's got 5 now.
He's got so much junk in his trunk. He'll find a way to hurt you.
Outside Anthony. And they wasted no time getting those 3 points back. Evidently, the Pacers had fallen to the heat, but they put them to the test. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They gained respect league-wide even more than they had going into the playoffs. It took 7 games, Clark. You saw them all, which a lot of folks didn't see coming.
I know that's the case, and yet the way the Pacers showed such grit in that series, it indicates they can compete with anybody. And you have a defensive anchor like they do in Roy Hibbert, they've got a chance to be a championship team before long.
And here is Anthony following Danny Granger's 3. Anthony kicks to Smith, and George with the block. And now here's George, the fast break.
Ridiculous. Tore it down that time.
The rim rattler.
Just a remarkable jam. These fans' jaws are on the ground right now.
Yeah, that is Showtime stuff right there. Major highlight reel material.
Well, you look at Paul George, my man, PG-24, the young swing man out of Fresno State. Boy, he had a terrific year last season, was the most improved player last season and the first-time NBA All-Star. And consider how young he is. Just turned 23. And he's got the potential to make plenty more All-Star games. And I think he could ultimately be a Defensive Player of the Year at some time in his career.
So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Mahinmi's checked in for Hibbert. Scola comes in for David West. Chris Copeland's checked in for Danny Granger. Lance Stevenson subbed in for Paul George. Martin, funded by Scola, puts up the baby hook. Martin with the bucket. And for Paul George, the 10th pick back in 2010. What a terrific find for the Pacers.
Well, he was already a good player, but I think the injury to Danny Granger last season created the opportunity for George to really emerge as an all-star. And that's exactly what he did. Dangerous inside and out, excellent defensive player, has a chance to be really special.
And Shumpert kicks to Martin. Martin is really fast, and he throws it down.
Oh, he's just dangling from the rim after sending it.
You can see which team now has the swagger, Clark, right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's with them.
Yeah, but you don't want to do too much to get an opponent riled up, though, either.
And the Pacers with possession here, following the score by New York. And that one's good.
I'll tell you what, the defenders didn't even get a sniff of him on that move to the hoop.
New York leading by 3. World peace on the way. And again, New York with the triple.
Well, they've really come out on fire with the killer instinct here, absolutely torching it from beyond the arc.
2 seconds separating the shot clock and game. It's stolen by Iman Shumpert. Deflects the pass. Udrich dishes to Stoudemire. And the shot falls short this time.
Can't get a much better look than that, though.
Sure can't. Not one you'd expect him to miss there.
1 second left. And again, it's Indiana.
Well, solid defense. They forced a tough shot, but he knocked it down.
And they're scoring pretty well as we conclude the first quarter. Knicks out front. They're up by 4. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. Monday, November 25th, Anthony Davis and the New Orleans Pelicans go up against Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs. Make sure to catch it. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And a closer look here at the hustle stance for the Knicks.
Well, I think the defensive aggressiveness on display here has caught them off guard. Playing airtight defense and coming up with the steal.
Well, the other thing they've done well is getting after shooters. They've closed out well, and they've really blocked a lot of shots in the half.
On the court right now for the Pacers. Hill is out there with Scola. Then there's Orlando Johnson. Then it's Watson, and it's Mahimi at the front. Taking no time at all on that one. 12 points for J.R. Smith.
You know, last season, guys, the Knicks put up a bushel basket full of threes, and with the shooters they had, you could see why they shot as many threes as they did. They had excellent shooters from behind the arc, and it also served Carmelo Anthony well because it opened the floor for him.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Hey guys, the last few summers, Carmelo Anthony has incorporated boxing training into his off-season regimen. He said being a boxing fan since he was a kid, he was always intrigued by the elite conditioning level boxers have to attain. He added that the hand-eye coordination and physicality helped both his shooting and his ability to play at the power forward spot. Kevin?
Yeah, with his hard-charging style of play, it makes sense. Thanks, Doris. Well, Clark, as you said about the Knicks last season, the offensive game plan was take some threes, take more threes, and then some more threes after that. Steve, I know you like that. They led the entire league in threes taken. In fact, they set the all-time record for threes made in a season.
Well, they were unbelievably proficient from long range. They had games where they took 40-plus threes, almost unheard of. But it's the way they played, and when you can surround Carmelo Anthony with shooters like that, it makes it tough to guard. Boy, beautiful assist. That's a couple of teammates clearly on the same page.
And there's the basket. This goes and checks for three-point play. Going to the line for one.
Well, one of the things that makes him special is his tendency to become red hot in just a matter of seconds. So you never know when it's coming. You know, all it takes is a shot or two, and he's rolling.
And you know what, Steve? We also have to talk about his shooting. I mean, the fact that he copes with tight D better than anyone is something to make note of. His percentage stays the same, and if he's wide open, he's automatic.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pacers. Roy Hibbert's checked in for Mahimi. West comes in for Luis Scola. And George Hill's subbed in for C.J. Watson. The Pacers making a change here. Rangers checked in. And here in the second, 2 minutes gone by. And Anthony with the basket on the assist by Stoudemire. 13 points for Carmelo Anthony.
You know, the only tough part of that basket for him was getting into such good position. The rest of it seemed easy. J.R. Smith, last season's sixth man of the year, averaging 18 points per game off the bench for the Knicks. What a fantastic season.
Hill kicks to Granger. 6 on the shot clock. And the Pacers tack on 2 more.
Boy, he made a nice little bounce pass there. We call that the pocket pass, and he did it well.
It's Anthony with the drive. And the shot is good. And for J.R. Smith, the New Jersey native, right at home, Clark playing for the Knicks.
And you knew he had the talent to be special. He just had to put it all together. He had a big season. The first player since '90 to come off the bench and score 30 or more in 3 straight games, Kevin. He's simply a bucket maker.
Paul George, he's checked in for Orlando Johnson. Granger for the 3. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. Hill's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. It's Carmelo Anthony on the way. Makes no mistake on the open jump shot. Anthony's got 18 points in the game.
Just putting on a passing display out there.
Well, just add another fantastic assist to the highlight reel for this guy.
Granger. That's good.
His shooting has been so good today, and he may have to take it upon himself to try and get his club out of this hole.
A different look for New York. Kenyon Martin, he's checked in for Stoudemire. World Peace comes in for Carmelo Anthony. And Zaman jumping in for J.R. Smith.
Well, I tell you what, the Pacers did a lot of good things last year. Defended well, protected the rim and their home court. Really, the one area for improvement is probably the road record. They can get better in that area.
Hill passes to George. Hibbert with this screen on Shumpert. And George kicks to Hibbert. Rejected by Martin. Felton goes in. Gets it to go. Felton's got 5 points now in the quarter. Clark, as you said, the Pacers didn't play as well as they had hoped to on the road. For a team that won the division, they were 19-21 away from Indianapolis, and Steve, not the kind of record they wanted to end with.
No, but if you're around 500 then you can control your home court, you're going to have a good season. And that's exactly what Indiana did. They ended up with the 3rd seed in the East, and all in all, a terrific year.
Hill gets to George. And the Pacers another 3. Oh, wow, guys, doesn't look good. We've got an injury here.
Oh, boy, this is something you hate to see, Clark.
You know, it sure is. Injuries, though, are really an unfortunate part of the game, inevitable at times. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
Stoudemire's checked in for Kenyon Martin. The time for the ball. And stolen by Hibbert. Right side, George. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. Hill's got 6 assists now in the game.
How about this performance in the face of the injury, playing through a lot of pain out there?
And World Peace kicks to Chandler. Got a piece of it. Stolen by Granger. Now the Pacers moving it up. It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful. Transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
And it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Pass to George. Back to Granger. On the wing, Hill. Outside, George. That will count. And it's in. Oh, wow, he nails the buzzer.
A huge 3 to cut it close going to halftime. It's still anyone's ball game.
Second quarter ends in a tight one. Knicks lead by 2. And coming up after the break, it'll be Damon Bruce breaking down all the highlights from the first half of play.
Now, presented by Sprint. It's been a tight matchup in New York as we bring you our halftime breakdown. For New York, a closely contested game against the Indiana Pacers. It's been an uneven start to the season. They're hungry for wins, no doubt about it. Carmelo Anthony just having his way against Indiana's defense. Seems like everything's falling for him. Not sure if he even knows how to miss. Good overall, also, though, for the Pacers. And defensively, they've done a good job grabbing rebounds, limiting second chances. Danny Granger with a phenomenal first half. We're at halftime, and still, he hasn't missed a shot. It's been a pure shooting exhibition. Now let's check out the other game in progress. Out at Time Warner Cable Arena, the Bobcats with the lead against Brooklyn. That one's in the third. They're up by 8 at the moment. A look now at some games yet to start. For the Raptors, they'll be up against the 76ers out in Philadelphia. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock Eastern. And now, here's what's going on in the rest of the NBA. At Quicken Loans Arena, the Cavaliers in a close one against Washington. Second half of basketball just getting started for them. And now back to New York we go as the third quarter is just about to start. The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And standing tall over New York Harbor, the Statue of Liberty, as we welcome you back.
You know, the Knicks got off to a fast start, but when you employ as many old bodies as they did last year, it's hard to sustain the level of play you need over the course of a full season. It's one reason they started to falter a bit late in the year.
Anthony, Stoudemire, and Chandler, their front line. The guards, Ray Felton and J.R. Smith. That's the group. Good start in the second half for Mike Woodson. And now looks like we've got an injury here, guys. We'll likely see him come out of the game.
Injuries are such a difficult part of this game.
And from a glance, you really can't tell just how bad it is, but he's going to come out, and we'll find out now how bad it is. He may be done for the game.
And Clark, you said the Knicks did hit that low last season right after the All-Star break into early March. Steve, when the vets saw the finish line in sight, they picked up their play and got back in it.
That's right. They won 13 games in a row late in the season, catapulting themselves back into the top tier of teams in the East, and let everyone know that they would not be exiting the playoffs early. That really was the start of that run. Well, I'm not necessarily a big fan of him shooting that shot, but they did give him the space.
Here's Hill. Plays it up and makes it in. Hill's got 4 points in the quarter.
They've been good on all 3 of their shots since coming out of the locker room at the break.
And Anthony gets double teamed. And Udrich kicks to Smith. It's good. This time the assist from Udrich. And that's 15 points for J.R. Smith.
How about the passive there? Moving the ball without any thought, without any agenda.
It's hard to overstate all the points they've scored on assists today. Beautiful to watch.
Hill dishes to George. George gets a screen from Hibbert. Here's West.
This offense's first miss after 3 straight makes to start the second half.
Stoudemire, no good.
Well, Danny Granger played only portions of 5 games last season, guys, and basically was trying to overcome a torn patella tendon in his left knee. Had to be terribly frustrating for him. A nice start to the second half, just 1 miss in their first 5 attempts.
And now a moment here to take a look at some of the stats for Carmelo Anthony. He's 7th in scoring, 10th in three-point field goal percentage. And, of course, he's in the top 15 in rebounding, so a very strong presence in the paint.
And you don't become a top 10 scorer, Steve, without a variety of offensive moves and a whole bunch of tricks in your bag. So he makes for wonderful highlights the way he can score.
That shot wide open. Udrich has got 6 points in the quarter. And a long road back for Danny Granger.
Yeah, I know the frustration dealing with a lot of knee issues of my own in my career. It's difficult when you have to face that year after year. Hopefully Granger will be able to come back and maintain that, or regain, I should say, that all-star form that he once showed. He could be a huge addition to this Pacer team.
A team right on the cusp on this.
Good ball movement. He put that pass in the ideal spot, right where it needed to be.
Now, here is Hill. He's guarded by Udrich. There's the dish to Granger. Knocks it loose. Throws it up high. Oh, and a jam by Anthony.
And the lead just grows on that ridiculous offensive sequence.
You know, Clark, that dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop.
Yeah, that just added more to it.
Yeah, what a beautiful connection on that play.
It was certainly a slow start to the season for the Pacers. Their veteran and leading scorer, Danny Granger, was on the shelf with the knee injury, but somehow this team found its identity around defense and the emergence of some younger players that may serve them well going forward. To get Danny Granger back with the young, emerging talent, this team should contend for a while.
Really left alone that time. And that's 13 points for Paul George.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
Smith kicks to Anthony. Back to Smith. It's up a 3. That one falls coming off Anthony's feet. Anthony's got his 6th assist on the night. And Granger was able to come back for them for a stretch during the regular season, but eventually had to once again miss the rest of the games. But the team had grown to where, you know, that probably didn't derail them, as it might have, Steve, in the past.
But the big thing with the Pacers, Jeff, is that they have a lot of depth now across the roster. And with the emergence of Paul George, who kind of took Granger spot, they were able to move on pretty well without him.
Pacers trail by 10. Here's Hill, the feed to West, and the foul on Amari Stoudemire. That is his first foul of the game.
I like the call. I thought the defense was moving there.
Yeah, I think he slid underneath. Good blocking call that trip.
The Pacers making a change here. Mahimi's checked in for Hibbert. Scola comes in for David West. Chris Copeland's checked in for Danny Granger. Lance Stevenson subbed in for Paul George.
Tell you what, Kevin, they'd love to see him get a lot more of those opportunities.
Clark, that deficit will go away quickly if he does.
And I like the way he capped that drive off, guys, with the one-hand punch.
Right side, Martin. They swipe it. Now the Pacers moving it up. Watson's running, and he uses the glass on the layup. Watson's got 6.
They're not as aggressive from the outside here, but maybe they should think about stretching the defense a little bit, like they did in the first half. I mean, stretching the defense makes it easier to score inside, too.
Here's Bargnani. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup. Bargnani stays with us. Watson kicks to Stevenson. Stevenson off of it for Mahimi. Feeds it to Copeland. Uncovered. And again, it's Indiana.
Nice pass. He got the ball right into his teammate's shooting pocket. On time and on target.
In low to Martin. Tries to keep it alive. The points coming in bunches as we wrap up the third quarter. It's been a good one. Knicks out front, up by 6. And do not go away, as we'll be back in just a few moments with the start of our fourth quarter coming up next.
Coming up next Monday, November 25th, the Houston Rockets take on Marc Gasol and the Memphis Grizzlies. The Southwest Division squares off. It's the real deal.
All right, the fourth quarter of action getting underway. We've had a great one so far with both sides coming to play. What do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for New York?
Well, the great passing we saw in the first half was carried right over into the second.
They've really been on fire from beyond the arc tonight, too. I mean, a lot of their points have come from out there.
On the court for Indiana. Randall Johnson is out there with Lance Stevenson. And it's Roy Hibbert. That's Scola. And it's Granger in at the 3. It's stolen by Iman Shumpert. Gives him the lead pass. Shots good from Bargnani.
The defensive breakdowns are starting to show up now. The last 4 buckets allowed have come from very close range.
And giving up these easy chances is going to do wonders for their confidence.
Stevenson kicks to Granger. That's good. Granger's got 21.
What a display of offense we've seen today, and it's only getting better.
Well, both defenses have been on their heels all day, and it's begun to take its toll.
World Peace, the pass to Shumpert. Felton. Rejected by Stevenson. Here's Hibbert. And that one is stuffed right through.
Cutting into the lead with a huge one-hand throwdown.
That's how to get your team back into it.
Yeah, sir. That may put a little life back into this team.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. This their first chance this season playing the Pacers.
Well, if this is a matchup that feels familiar, it's because it is. And just last season, they were knocked out of the conference semis by this club.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Yes, guys, over that break, I was able to catch the message Mike Woodson was giving to his team. He told his team to keep looking for three-point opportunities, saying their perimeter defense isn't doing a good job getting out on our shooters. So let's keep firing away until they decide to guard us.
Clark, that probably weighs on their minds. A little payback might be in order.
Yeah, I agree. A little payback, definitely. That game might seem like a long time ago, and I guarantee you it's fresh in some minds here. They played an important role in their offense today, guys. Without it, they may not be in the league.
Hill kicks to Stevenson. Granger. Pass to Hibbert. Bargnani on him. The jump hook, and again it's Roy Hibbert.
That's the kind of finish we've gotten used to seeing from him in the low post.
Granger against Anthony. Granger with the defensive effort.
Good, tough defense there, getting a hand up, forcing that miss.
Well, he's got the reputation of being a tough defender, and there was an example right there for him.
And the basket by Hill.
Boy, the shots finally dropping for them in bunches, and I'll tell you what, the complexion of this game has totally changed.
You know, that kind of offensive eruption was the only thing that was going to get them back into this one.
And here's Felton from the arc. That's in there. Anthony with the assist. And that's 14 points for Raymond Felton.
Boy, they've come out of halftime just smoking hot from behind the arc.
Hey, trust me on this one, partner. They are going to continue to let them fly.
David West, he's checked in for the Pacers. Taken away by Felton. And count it. 2 guards for the chance for one more at the free throw line.
He's been so reliable again today, Kevin. They need his points, and he's providing them. Well, when you think about instant offense, his name comes to mind immediately. Doesn't take much for him to get it going and run off a string of buckets.
And Steve, some of the best highlights you're ever going to see are going to come from this guy. Every time he steps on the court, there's a chance he'll perform the dunk of the season.
Chandler with the steal. And now the Knicks on the break. Oh, and there's the alley-oop.
Everything's falling now, and this lead continues to increase.
Yeah, it's just way too hard to keep up with the scoring pace like this. I mean, and that's why the defense is having a tough time.
Hill kicks it to West. Inside the Hibbert, and the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. Paul George, he's checked in for Lance Stevenson. Free throw, good. Hibbert. 1:43 left in the fourth quarter. The Knicks leading by 7. Here's Smith. Outside, Felton. Anthony. Granger covering. And Anthony with the basket on the assist by Felton. That's 28 points for Carmelo Anthony.
They've got a bunch of good looks, and it's been absolutely lethal from behind the three-point line.
Yeah, you got to get some bodies out there defensively, though. I mean, if things are way too easy out beyond the three-point arc.
Hill against Felton. The three. And Hill is good for 3. Hill's got 5 points in the quarter.
This is great. Three-pointers going down quickly at both ends.
Yeah, it took them no time to answer back on that possession.
And he will take the ball right into the teeth of the defense.
We've got 1:13 left in the fourth. Granger kicks to Hill. And he's going up for the alley-oop. Leaps for it. And out of bounds as the Knicks gain possession. Clark, if they want to, they can milk the clock just a little bit here.
Amen. I think that's the best option.
Got that one up quick. And now it's a 12-point Knicks lead.
They didn't take their time wrapping this game up. They pretty much did it in a hurry.
Yeah, they had a nice spurt to polish this one off.
And he gets it to go as they call the foul. He's on his way to the line for one more.
Well, their offense has kicked into gear, but it seems to have arrived a little bit too late.
And as a coach, that can really be frustrating. I mean, your guys were stumbling along for most of the game, and now, when it's basically over, they finally decide to come alive.
Stolen by Granger. Taken away by Anthony. The 9-foot shot. And there are the Knicks with another bucket.
They got to feel pretty good about this win tonight, guys, defending their home floor.
Yeah, and just riding it out here now. I mean, they gave the fans what they wanted.
The defenders need to talk to each other. The communication lacking there on that three-pointer.
Back to Smith. We've got 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Shot clock at 5. Puts one up from 19. And they force the shot clock violation. Great team. Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over. They're losing by 8. There's 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
Well, they can game plan all they want, but there's not enough time left for them to come back and win this game.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly what they think they're going to pull off here.
Watson for 3. It's money from deep. So it's New York picking up the win. It was a solid win, Clark.
Yeah, it was, and I think it came down to will more than skill. They went out and got this one.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll see you next time. And now, our Jordan player of the game, Carmelo Anthony.
So another game, so that's not a close one real, as the Knicks get in the match, defeat the Pacers by 5, 99 to 94, as Carmelo Anthony got 30 points, J.R. Smith got 21, and Danny Granger got 23, as the Knicks get a sweet revenge against the rival Indiana Pacers. And now we're gonna skip all the way into Grizzlies to the Warriors. So we're gonna skip in right now all the way. We're gonna be heading to Dallas, Texas. So gonna skip right here will be the Heat and the Magic. We got Heater Tuku, Machine Splints will be day to day, and the Heat getting dominated over the Magic. Raptors and the Sixers. Michael Carter Williams will be hurt for certainly 1-2 weeks, and the Raptors getting job to defeat the Sixers, Blazers, and the Bucks. Blazers get a win. Clippers and the Timberwolves. Clippers with the win over the Timberwolves. Jazz and the Pelicans. Tyree Evans will be hurting for strained hamstring, and the Pelicans win. Kings and the Suns. Suns survive as they try another first win of the year, as unfortunately 11 game losing streak continues for winless Kings. Shannon Brown got 37, Green got 31, Butler got 20, and almost triple double for Goran Dragic. Ben McLemore got 21, Cousins got 20 and 12. Pistons and the Hawks. It's Pistons continue on a roll. 20 points from Brandon New Williams as Josh Smith makes his return to the former team again. So Brandon James got 30 and Josh Smith got 25 as first time they will play as a whole team. Let's see who the next game is, the Pistons and the Hawks. That will be round 2. Will be next Friday. That will be me here. This was the first time Josh Smith will be playing his former teammate of the Atlanta Hawks. Celtics and the Spurs we got, and the Celtics stunned the Spurs. Tony Parker got 23, Dawkins got 20 and 9, Green got 21 points, and then they both double as well. Grizzlies and the Warriors we got, and it's the Grizzlies getting win over the Warriors. 29 points for Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry got 19, Iggy Dallas so close to triple-double, and Vogel got 12, Randolph got 23 and 10. Now For the main event of the day, we're off to Dallas, Texas. It's gonna be a good Western Conference rivalry. It features a good Upper Texas showdown. So was the second match of the day. It was first met. It was on November 1. They lose by 7 points. Let's see the next game against the Rockets. They will play on the last matchup. No. They will be next 4 meetings on first half, December 23 and January 29. So, we're done. And now, the next game, we're off to the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas for the second matchup of the day. It features Dwight Howard and James Harden of the Houston Rockets take on Dirk Nowitzki and Monte Ellis of the Dallas Mavericks. And unfortunately, Vince Carter will not play today because of sprained wrist. Will be out for 1 to 2 weeks due to the sprained wrist injury. So that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin as the Knicks defeat the Pacers 9-9 to 9-4. I'm Andre Kenshin. Say so long for Madison Square Garden in New York City. We will see you later on today here at the American Airlines Center in Dallas for the Rockets and the Mavericks. Sign up and peace out. This is Andre Kenshin. Say so long for Madison Square Garden. It's time to say sign up and peace out. Goodbye, and a reminder, we'll be see you later on tonight here in Dallas for the Rockets and the Mavericks. Sign up and peace out. Goodbye.